Hello and welcome to another video here at Movie Mash, and today we're going to talk about the new Fear Street Part 2 1978, following up from the last week's 1994, which are both on Netflix. So the story goes, we're following up after straight away from the last one, where there was a mysterious phone call at the end giving some advice from a lady, and that they had to go and find, and they found her, and her name was Ziggy. Now, Ziggy's some kind of a recluse, and you can see she has had a lot of issues and she has a story to tell. And the teens are still under investigation to see if they can find how to stop this witch from more murder and mayhem. And then Ziggy seems to have more information, so she starts telling the story of her experience, which is 1978. So we go to a flashback, and it's pretty much the whole film, and it goes straight away to 1978 in a place non-Camp Crystal Lake, and we follow this young redhead girl, and her sister Alice, and it's one of those camps where, like Camp Crystal Lake, where we have all the tropes of sex, smoking weed, and same as Friday the 13th, pretty much. But one of I don't know what you call teachers or camp leaders tries to kill one of the teens, and it was a mysterious way of happening, and they started to notice other little things going on which was not right. So they found some kind of a cave where the witch, or a witch, or the witch was doing all her spells, and they have a witch, kind of a witch book, I don't know what you would call it, and where it was all kind of Satan worship stuff on it, and all these murders started kicking off. Now, the camp started getting blitzed by axe murderers and all kinds of zombie type killers, and it was pretty cool in that sense. Now, I not want to say too much, so I'm trying to be careful with my words, if you can't tell, because even though there's not a lot of spoilers, the little things that there is there, I don't really want to give away. At the end of this video, I might give away a couple of things that I don't know if they're spoilers, but just in case, I won't say it because I'm a nice guy and I'm considerate. So, the 1970s. Now, I loved how it looked. Now, we see a lot of films, I see a lot of movies, and that are based in the 80s, 90s, 70s, and whatever. And 9 times out of 10, even though they have all the clothes and it doesn't always feel 70s and 80s and all that. You still kind of doesn't feel it. I will say this did feel like the 70s. They got that down to a T. It was really good. I like the color scheme, and the bright colors of everything. It just looked vibrant and all that. The clothes, the music was wicked, wicked. But everything else was just spot on when it comes to the 70s feel. Now, another positive is the kills are really good. I mean, like, I was kind of surprised on the last one how good the kills were. I didn't expect it. They were really kind of gross and gory, and they their kids were killed. I mean, young kids. Now, over the years, you don't really see much of that, and I think it started with 2017's It, and when we finally start killing kids. So it's one of those ones you don't see much. So they went with that, and which I was surprised. And yeah, as I said, the kills are good. The gore is pretty decent. I'm not going to fault that, and it was a nice little. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm going to give that a good thumbs up. The kills were good. Now, another little thing that I liked was the axe murderer. I won't say who it is because it is a kind of a spoiler-ish, but he was really good. You could call him non-Jason Voorhees, but I liked how he looked, and I liked how he carried on, and yeah, he was a little bit creepy, and he was quite aggressive. So that was another thumbs up for that. Now, on to negatives. I didn't really like the characters that much on this again. Like the first one, I found a lot of them mean-spirited. Now, you could go like, all right, yeah, but this horror and it's a teens and all that. But I'm like, but you look at horror movies over, and it's always like teens mainly. But I always felt like even the cheeky, mean ones, I always kind of liked them in a sense. They were still kind of funny or fun. Look at Nancy, for example, in Nightmare on Elm Street. She started getting an attitude towards the end because of what was going on, but you were behind her and you rooted for her and all that. A lot of them on this I didn't care. Like, for example, there's a blonde girl on it called, I think her name is Alice, and she was just mean spirited. I know the film was trying to put her off as quirky and fun loving and all that, but I just found her mean spirited. She was like nasty for no reason, and I was like, ugh. We have the redhead girl. Now I'm not going to go into names because if I start doing that, I might start giving stuff away. But we she seems to be the lead character on this for me, and she was being bullied quite a few times. She had it quite hard there by the other students or whatever they were, and I felt like she was a smart ass. Every time someone spoke to her, apart from being bullied, and some people that were trying to be nice to her, she was always kind of a smart ass to them, like she knew too much. I'm like, that's probably why you ain't got any friends. But being a smart ass all the time, or you could say smart ass for you, Chrissy. This is a shout out for you over in Horror Resurrection over in the US. Over here in UK, we say smart ass because we speak the Queen's English, and now I sound like Roger Moore. But anyway, that's a shout out to you, Chrissy. But I digress. So we have the redhead sister, who was a dark haired girl. Um, she, I actually didn't mind her. She was very nerdy and Mrs. Do Right, but I felt like she wasn't mean spirited and she just wanted to do the right thing. And she might have got on people's nerves, but I actually thought, well, she's not mean spirited and she's all right. Also liked her boyfriend. There was as a young guy in it that I don't know if it's supposed to be a spoiler because he's gonna be something in 1994, so I won't say it. He was all right. He was a bit cheesy. For those who've seen the last one, you'll know what I'm talking about. He was cheesy, but he was all right. Um, the CGI was mostly good. I mean, like, it is pretty decent. I'm not going to moan too much, but sometimes it was a bit over the top. Um, like putting heads back on and blood everywhere. The kills, as I said, the kills were good. It's just sometimes like the CGI, they were showing other things, and I was like, all right, all right, all right. But you know what? It's just a nitpick. Now, overall, I actually enjoyed this film. I do feel like it would have benefited from being around Halloween like the last one. It would have been a good Halloween film. It's a mishmash of every kind of horror movie with horror tropes in it, and I enjoyed it, and I would watch it again, and I will give it a side thumb. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's definitely worth a watch. I find that Netflix are hit and miss with their movies, but I will say this will probably be a hit. All right, now I want to talk about a few spoilers. Now, if you're not gone yet and you want to see more about the spoilers, then that's up to you. But I'm just going to do it now. So, I was going to say is the redhead girl was Ziggy, and the sister's dark-haired girl was I think her name was um, Annie. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Her name was Anne or Annie, and what I wanted to know was, which I don't know if it went over my head, but at the end it felt like there was supposed to be a twist where it turns out Ziggy, the lady they're talking to in 1994, is the redhead girl. Did they do that on purpose? Because I actually knew it was her straight. I just assumed it was her straight away. So I think at the end of the film, it tried out. Oh, look, that's Ziggy. I'm like, oh, I thought she was anyway. But maybe it was me. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be a twist, but it looked like it was supposed to be a twist, and I got it straight away. So I don't think that he executed that very well. But you know, wasn't a big deal. Now, also, when they were both being axed to death right at the end, her and her sister, um, how did she survive that many stabs? I mean, she really got it in the chest, in the side. There wasn't, and she did die. So how they brought her back, I don't know. Maybe there's going to tell us something more to it later on. But I think I don't know how she survived. I mean, if she survived that, she can survive anything. But so I thought that was, you could have toned down the amount of kills, but I suppose it was for the shock factor, and so we go, oh, they're both dead. But you know, still just moaning. Now, this is something I wanted to say in the earlier part of my review, but I feel like it's a little bit of a spoiler-ish. So, but just in case, I don't want to say it. But at the end of last one, it showed the trailer to this one, and it pretty much showed the redhead being murdered, and it kind of gave a lot away with doing that. I mean, we knew she was stabbed to death and put to the ground. Obviously, she came back, like I just said, but I just felt like, why would you have given away that kind of a spoiler? I mean, that was just bad marketing. Because through the whole film, I knew she was going to be stabbed up at one point, and yeah, she was. In fact, as I said, she died and she came back. But yeah, they gave too many spoilers away on the trailer. So what I done was on this one, when they started showing the new trailer to next week's, which is 1886, please correct me, because put it in the comments and remind me what it was. But I turned it off because it looked, for the first few seconds I saw it, I thought, yeah, this looks kind of good. It looks eerie and creepy, medieval type things, witch days and all that. So I just thought, no, you're going to give me too much spoilers. But I will say is, I am looking forward to seeing this next one, because if it's got the setting and the way they made the 78 look, I've got a feeling they're going to make this one look the same. And I will say is that they got that down. They got it really good. Now, a lot of films don't, so I have to give them top notch for that. But as I said, I'm going to give the whole film in general a side thumb. So, what did you think of this? Did you see it? Did you hate it? Did you love it more than the last one? Or have you seen none, you're waiting for the whole thing to finish and you're watching this review, which you shouldn't be, because this is the second one? Well, please let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe as normal. But for now, and until next time. So I just wanted to say, the axe murderer on this, who is pretty much non-Jason Voorhees, I thought he was just as good as Jason. I mean, who would have thought that he would have been just as good as Jason? Sorry, mate, look, I was just kidding. No, really.